this is me Ankita reporting from Life Tips, your money, our advice. Let's start a session with a quick headline. The Q3 advanced tax figures saw an overall increase of 15 to 20%. Reliance, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank and Tata Motors were among stocks that posted the highest increase in advanced tax from the year ago. RBI monetary policy met last Thursday came along expected lines with the central bank leaving all key interest rates unchanged. The market therefore was neutral to the news as Nifty closed the week at 5948 level while the Sensex closed the week at 19864 level, up by 1.5% and 1.8% respectively. The repo rate is 6.25% while the reverse repo rate currently stands at 5.25%. Although SLR has been reduced by 100 basis points to 24%, the RBI also decided to pump in extra liquidity into the system by buying government security worth Rs 48,000 crore from bank over the next 1 month. Moving on to the global scenario, the economic data came in much better than expected in the US. Advanced retail sales, industrial production and capacity utilization all came in higher than expectations, while Empire manufacturing data registered a much higher than expected reading. In the UK, jobless claims fell, but the ILO unemployment rate edged up from 7.7% to 7.9%. Manufacturing activity expanded in Germany as PMI manufacturing came in better than expected. In China, the actual FDI for November rose by 38.2% against expectation of a rise of 10.8%. Thank you viewers and stay back. We still have the market update sessions coming up with our experts. Welcome back viewers. Let's talk to our expert Mohan to know more about the weekly analysis of the market. So welcome Mohan.
Thank you, Ankita.
So Mohan, how was the derivative segment in last week?
As on Thursday, overall market opened in an open interest was around 1,35,946 crores for the December series, and overall added 1.5% on Thursday, while added a 2.8% on week-on-week basis, and on the back end sharp rise in the cost to carry. Also you can see on this and indicating close in the short position and fresh addition of long position also can visible on this. And apart from this, recently we saw market has opened the gap one below around 5,800, but has bounced back to weekly high of around 5960. Indian AXI volatility index has fell 6.40% during the week from 21 to 21.62 or 20.24 levels, and around 20 levels you can see Indian volatility will bring more comfort for the market in this. And also from the options front, option data indicates the closure of a long weaker position, suggesting range mode traders and can range mode trading session can be seen on the coming days. And even Friday session we saw December 5,900 put option and 5,800 strike price witnessed highest addition with the Nifty may find immediate support around 5850 levels, and even however the 6,000 call has not yet seen a closure, and open is indicating immediate resistance still lies on 6,000 call options, and you can see 6,000 levels on the Nifty. And overall market cost to carry ended a higher level of 12.70, and Nifty open interest was around 17,870 crores on a future and even 17,670 crores on a options front. Put call ratio as open increase moved from during the weekly and even finally closed at a 1.29 levels. And implied at the money options you can see 19.01 as on Thursday, while average open interest was put call ratio was around 17.42.
Alright. Yeah. So what are the sectors that you are watching out for the next week?
Sectors we can say technology and oil and gas saw a closure of a short position while selecting the stocks. In auto and real estate stocks which has seen an accumulation and short position also you can visible on this. But we can see a weakness as there in the auto sectors and still in the further days.
Alright, Mohan.
Yeah.
So what is the Nifty level for the next week? Just brief us about the resistance and support level.
Yeah, fine. We can see a range of around 5,800 to 6,100 and resistance around first resistance for 5990 and 6090 and 6330 are for third resistance, and first support at 5860 and second support at 5800 and third support at 5740 levels.
Alright. So how was the institutional activity in the last week, Mohan?
Yeah, fine. You can see FIF net selling was visible on around 657 crores and DI net buying around 682 crores.
So which were the top gainers for the last week?
Top gainers are Tata Motors 7.97 and Tata Steel 6.69, SAIL, TCS are around 6% and even Suzlon 5.16 and Infosys, Wipro, Hindalco are around 4% on this.
Alright. So which were the Nifty top losers?
Top losers are Million, M&M in Hero Honda, M&M 6% and Hero Honda 5%, Jindal Steel 3.76 and Grasim 2.80 and Ambuja Cement 2.43 and Bajaj Auto 2.43 and again Kotak Bank and Sasagawa are around nearly a 2% in this.
Alright. So which are the stocks that one can buy in the next week?
Buying, you can see still IT sector is very strong. We can see TCS, SJ Technology, Wipro, Infosys can look out for long. And even in oil sectors only you can see Reliance and still SR Oil is still momentum upside is there. And even sugar sector showing some strong pull in this further days like Renuka and Balrampur Chini and Hindustan Bajaj Hind. And also in metal sectors, especially stocks, you have stock specific you need to go like Tisco, Hindalco, JSW Steel and SAIL. In that Tisco and SAIL is showing very good up move in the further days. And even capital goods, BHEL, LT, Punj Lloyd are positive for the next week also. We are seeing a positive on this. And also from the banking sector, ALBK, SBI, IOB, Vijaya Bank, and showing some type of trend reversal in this in the coming days. And other stocks like McDowell, NTPC are still bullish on the next week.
Okay. So which are the stocks that one can sell in the coming week?
Not seeing much. Only you can see in the auto sectors where you can see weakness or seeing even short building up happening in this. Like auto sector like Bajaj Auto, M&M, Maruti, Hero Honda. But except from Tata Motors is from the fundamental reasons it's doing good for the even next week also. And other stocks like Dr. Reddy and Sasagawa are the weak for the next week.
Alright, so thank you Mohan for
Thank
that
you.
quick update. Stay back viewers, we still have the commodity and currency market session coming up with our experts. Welcome back viewers, let's talk to our commodity expert Joy to know more about the weekly update. So welcome Joy.
Thanks, Angela.
So Joy, how was the performance of the bullion this week?
Well, the gold fell for a second week as some investors liquidated the position before the end of the year to take the advantage of 10th consecutive annual gain. The market appears to be locking the profit in rallies rather than chase the prices higher. Gold and silver returns are expected to continue the strong performance in the next year also because of the central banks keep interest rates low and investment demands remain strong. The combination of concerns on how European sovereign debt crisis would evolve and inflation worries down the road is expected to continue to support the gold prices higher. Gold futures for February delivery were down 1.3% for this week at 1366.40 an ounce in COMEX yesterday. Silver futures for March delivery rose by 1.8% for the week to 29.133 an ounce in the COMEX. The metal has gained 73% so far this year.
Okay, so what was the trend in the base metal during the coming week?
Well, the copper clipped up and heading for a third straight weekly gain as European Union leaders agreed on a plan to contain further future debt crisis and economic reports in the US and Germany lost a prospect for a metal rebound. The index of US leading economic indicators increased in November by the most in 8 months. That's a signal of recovery will strengthen early next year. The German Business Conference gained a record in December. Copper reported from London to Shanghai on the better than expected US economic data, buoyed by the demand outlook for the metal used in construction and household appliances. Investors are worried over the probable measures by the China to curb lending and raise interest rates to stem accelerating inflation might put up some pressures on the prices. Dollar weakness is helping support prices. However, it's really a depreciation of most major currencies, including the euro, that boosting commodities. Copper futures for delivery in March added 0.7% to 4.143 a pound in the COMEX in New York yesterday. So far the metals are 43% since July 1st as the global investor inventories shrank.
Okay, so how was the trading scenario in the crude oil throughout the week?
Well, the crude oil rose as the index of US leading economic indicators increased in November by the most in 8 months. There's a signal of recovery with strengthening next year and boost fuel demand. Oil gained 0.4% on the US report and unexpected increase in German Business Conference to a record in December. According to the report of American Petroleum Institute, US fuel consumption jumped 6.5% in November from a year earlier. The crude market is taking its cues from global and domestic economic growth expectation going forward. So according to the report of Energy Department on December 15th, US crude stockpiles dropped 9.85 million barrels in the week ended December 10th and December 10th to 346 billion. The supplies are 7.2% above the 5-year average. A report from APS showed that the total deliveries of petroleum products, a measure of demand, climbed to 20 million barrels a day last month from 18.8 million in November 2009. Consumption during the first 11 months of 2010 rose 2.4% to 90.2 million barrels a day.
Okay, so can you just give the technical level for the various commodities?
Yeah, sure. The gold is in a strong support at 1367 and then 1351. It's a resistance for the gold is seen at 1382 and then 1398. Silver, the first support is for silver is 28.72 and then 28.18. The resistance for the silver is at 29.23 and then 29.72. Crude is got a strong support at 87.35 and then 86.25. The resistance for the crude is at 88.58 and then 90.2. Natural gas, the strong support is at 4 and then 3.88. The resistance for the natural gas is at 4.23 and then 4.35. Copper has a strong support at 411 and then 406. The resistance for the copper is at 420 and then 428. So that's all the major support levels for the commodity.
Alright. So thank you, Joy.
Thanks, Amir.
Stay back here, we still have the currency session coming up. Welcome back, viewers. Let's talk to our currency expert Mahesh to know more about the market scenario. So welcome, Mahesh.
Thank you, Geeta.
So Mahesh, where do you see the euro in the next week?
The euro is likely to struggle anew in the upcoming week as markets remain fearful about the sovereign debt issues in the peripheral eurozone economies, and investors are well advised to be short the currency going into 2011. A 5-notch downgrade of Ireland by Moody's and budget warnings by the International Monetary Fund on Friday weighed on the currency and will continue to cloud the euro's near-term outlook.
Alright. So how did euro trade this week?
This week, the euro slid to a 2-week low at $1.3133 yesterday and was last at 1.3181 on the week. The eurozone currency was down by 0.2%, although for December it is up by 1.5%.
Alright. So what is the immediate support for euro?
On the charts, immediate support for the euro lies at 1.3104, the 200-day moving average. Below that level, 1.2970 will act as a very good support for the euro.
So what are the news expected in US next week?
In the United States, there is a slew of data due next week, all of which is expected to show the world's largest economies growing, although at a modest pace, especially the two economic indicators for November, durable goods order and personal income consumption will help guide forecasts for fourth quarter growth, with more positive news likely on the November likely on the consumer side.
So how did US dollar perform this week?
Currency speculators increased their bets against the US dollar in the latest week, according to data from Commodity Futures Trading Commission report released on Friday. The value of the dollar's net short position rose to $9.46 billion in the week ending December 14, from $8.42 billion against the previous week, according to the Reuters and CFTC calculations.
Okay. So how did pound perform yesterday?
Sterling hit a 3-month low against the dollar on Friday, extending the losses after Lloyds Banking Group announced it expects further impairments on its Irish portfolio.
Alright. So what are the major development in Germany policy this week?
Yeah. Germany, the biggest contributor to the Europe's bailouts of Greece and Ireland, pushed through a proposal that would allow financial aid, if indispensable, to underpin the euro and may force the bondholders to bear some costs of future rescues. German Chancellor Angela Merkel ruled out putting more money on the table, retooling the post-Greek rescue European Financial Stability Facility to enable it to buy troubled government bonds or further entwining Europe's economies through joint bond sales.
Alright, so thank you, Mahesh.
Welcome.
That's all for now, viewers. We'll be back tomorrow with more news update on your favorite network live tips. Till then, goodbye.